the murder of his father, the brutal assault and its fatal outcome. The crime for which Robert Hitchcock was ultimately convicted and executed was a particularly grim act of parricide. On July the 23rd, 1777, Hitchcock, then approximately 40 years old, subjected his elderly father, Edward Hitchcock, to a severe and prolonged assault. The violence occurred on the road between Bloxham and Combe, where Robert beat, bruise and kick his aged father. The sheer brutality of the attack, involving multiple forms of physical abuse, suggests a profound level of aggression. Following the assault, Robert Hitchcock dragged his severely injured father home. Tragically, Edward Hitchcock succumbed to his injuries the very next morning. The cause of death was unequivocally linked to the assault, as confirmed by Mr. Bartholomew of Woodstock, who professionally examined the deceased's body. Mr. Bartholomew was certain that he had died as a consequence of the bruises he had received on his head, breast, loins, and most parts of his body. The violent assault was not a hidden act. The trial records indicate that no fewer than 13 witnesses testified, swearing that they had observed Robert Hitchcock beating, bruising, and kicking his father. The presence of so many witnesses suggests that the violence occurred in a public or semi-public space, perhaps on a well-trafficked road, rather than in the privacy of a home. Robert Hitchcock's social standing adds a layer of complexity to the case. He was described as a farmer of considerable property at Combe, near Woodstock. Robert Hitchcock's trial for the murder of his father took place at the Lent Assizes held in Oxford on March 4, 1778. Following the presentation of evidence, including the testimony of 13 witnesses who observed the brutal assault, Robert Hitchcock was found guilty of murder. Robert Hitchcock's execution by hanging took place on March 9, 1778. This occurred merely 5 days after his conviction. After hanging upwards of half an hour, he was cut down and carried in the same cart that attended his execution to the anatomy school at Christ Church, and there delivered for the use of anatomical lectures.